Welcome to the Business Owners Podcast, and it's been really busy last few weeks for me and Gail interviewing loads of different people. So what we're going to do today is we're going to reflect over some of the guests that we've had in the previous weeks and really look forward to some that we're having in the coming weeks as well. But what Gail and I thought we'd do today is just do that little bit of reflection on where we've gone with some of these interviews and probably some of the key things that are coming out of that. And as everyone knows now in these podcasts, I sort of dive straight in and get on with it. And so for me, Gail, one of the things that really came out for me was hard work. People were really saying that there's no substitute for hard work. And I think, that hard work was coming out, particularly when we looked at James from Rocketech, particularly Jonathan from Talk Business as well. That whole thing about hard work to make it happen. I think, that for me was one of the key things. And for me, hard work, there is no substitute for hard work. I think it's also being smart as well and making sure you're doing the right things. Gail, what are your thoughts on the hard work element?
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all again. Hope your week's been great. Not too, with this whole COVID business, but I totally agree. It's hard work, it's dedication. The people I've noticed, Phil, on our show have had passion. They've really believed in themselves, had the idea, and it's not an easy thing to do. I'm not going to sugarcoat business, and it's not the greatest thing ever. However, it is hard work, it is dedication. It's very rewarding, and we can get that work-life balance that a lot of us strive for. I think I think there's probably, you've got to be thick-skinned and you've just got to give it your all and have that work ethic. I think James from Rocketech, with he gets up at 5 a.m, and he's at the gym, he's doing it. It's that multitasking, and that people that thrive as being business owners are the ones that succeed, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think, that hard work, I think, that was the one you and I picked out probably as one of the top things. There is no substitute for hard work. Gail, what was one of the things you pulled out of the recent interviews?
I think one of the things I pulled from the interviews, we've had some great guests and it's been really fascinating to listen to people's journeys, is the whole work-life balance. Whether it was the COVID pandemic that kind of threw us into this new way of thinking, or it was just the fact that business owners seem to adapt and go through they seem to manage to juggle the kids, go to the gym, so to keep active and healthy, you've got to keep fit and healthy to really put yourself into business. I myself, in that predicament of family life, personal life, having a social life, not in COVID obviously, and running a business, it's about, you don't have to be so structured at 9 to 5. You can send emails at 8 o'clock in the morning and then take half an hour to take the kids to school. I think that's one of the things I've learned from having that work-life balance. It's not easy, but it can work as long as you're willing to put the dedication, time and commitment in. I think that's what I've taken from it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Gail. I think that whole work-life balance is something that's coming through, and I'm really hoping it's something that stays. But again, I think that's the trade-off when you're a business owner. You've got to be able to try and see how you can get that work-life balance. You've got to put the hard work in, which we just spoke about as well. And I think maybe the other thing for me, which again, really welcome your sort of thoughts on as well, was particularly with a couple of our guests, any age, you can just, you might be thrown into it, but any age is no barrier to starting a business, be it starting a business at 18 or even younger now with the internet and things, or starting in the older stages of life. That's another thing that came out to me. There's no right or wrong time to start a business.
No, absolutely, Phil. And it's kind of the whole, with people working, yes, like these young YouTube stars at 15, years of age. It's if you've got that entrepreneurship, you've got that drive, that idea, that goal to have your own business. Trisha, she was a later starter in life, and her business, she loved doing it. It was something she loved and she wouldn't give up, and the passion, and people recognize that. So you're right. Andy, for example, he came out of the Navy, a totally different career change, and he's enjoying entrepreneurship say later in life, sort of mid to late life. So you're absolutely right. It doesn't matter what age. It's the passion, the drive, the personality, and the resources. There's a lot of resources out there. It's just knowing what to tap into to set your business up and running, I guess.
And I think you're right. And I think, probably something you touched on there again, which is something I've taken out. And I think there's probably 5 things you and I collectively have taken out. But another one there is that whole, do a business that you believe in. So the product or service that you believe in, but also have a passion for as well. And I think when we look at the guests that we've had, we've had those who are passionate about what they do. And they're also doing something that they love. Now, Tricia was a fantastic example of that, her love of hats, and now she's been able to turn it into a really successful business. And then looking, as you say, with Andy, so when Andy was talking there in terms of the whole thing around veterans and planting trees and the passion for the environment. And I think those really came through. And even Jonathan Smith, when we looked at what he did, in terms of starting that whole networking business, he arrived here with a suitcase from Zimbabwe, and in terms of that, a complete change, but he's got a massive passion for what he does. So I think when we look at that, for me, it really is passion and really believe in what you do.
Absolutely 100%. Also, what I've noticed, Phil, is with the whole journey with people and building their business, it's about doing what you do best. It's about pooling your skills, your passion, your drive, and utilizing those skills. However, not everybody has all the skills that we need. Not everybody has, so it's a good idea to ask the experts. It's a good idea to outsource into your business. You've got an amazing idea that you're creative, you're passionate about, say Tricia, for example, with the hats. But she needed to outsource people to patent that. She needed advice on how to market that. So I would very much ask the experts, do the outsourcing, and really to make your business successful. Phil, your company's an outsourcing company. You do this, this is your core business. How do you think that impacts and helps set the business owner up?
I mean, I think you're right. I think, business owners, do what you do best and get others to do the things you don't do so well. I think, that's certainly something I've learned in business, and surround yourself with really good people. And I think from an outsourcing point of view, I think I probably look at some of the key things that why people would outsource, and maybe why people would outsource, particularly at this time. I think if you're going to outsource, and some of the core functions that people would outsource and outsource to us as a business already is sales, marketing, accounting, finance. They're some of the key things that people would do. Now, when you're looking to outsource, and you're an outsourcer as well, because people outsource, recruitment to you. But for me, in the way that I look at outsourcing, most of the time you're outsourcing to an expert. As a business owner, you probably can't afford to keep increasing your staff to somebody of the skill level that you actually need to build the business. So, you can get expertise. Also then looking at freeing up some of your time. So I work with a lot of business owners who have amazing products, amazing ideas, but they can't sell for toffee, and they wouldn't mind me saying that. They just can't. It's not their skill set. So they want to be able to outsource the sales and free up their time to do what they do best. And also when you look at that, so you look at some of those reasons for outsourcing, so expertise, time, giving you time to do what you do best, but it's also return on investment. So as you're building your company and you start to take 1 or 2 people on and you really want to grow it, can you really justify increasing your headcount by 3 or 4 people? You might not be able to. So to be able to outsource some key functions of sales or accounting or being the glue in the middle, you can outsource those and you get a really clear return on investment. You're going to put X in, you're going to get X out the other side as well. So when you're looking at that, that's really key. And I think what I've seen now is I've seen more and more businesses turn to us in particular because of COVID. There is a worry about recruiting more people. Can I do it now? Can I justify the cost? We might be going into a second lockdown, and already there's tier 3s across the UK. So for those companies that are nervous but know they need to keep going, they need to try and stay on a course of growth, then outsource. Talk to a really good outsourcer and say, right, I want to be able to get more sales. I want to really understand my finances, what's actually going on day to day. And I think, from an accounting perspective, it's great, but I think most people wait till the end of the year and go, what's the balance sheet look like? Have I made a profit or not? And I think now you really need to know that daily. And that's why a lot of people will outsource to us, because they'll go, I want to know the numbers now. Are we profitable? Could we make some savings? What could we do better? So in terms of that, if you're looking to outsource, just think about, it is going to give you time. You're going to be using experts. You're also going to get a very clear return on your investment. And actually right now in COVID, you should be outsourcing. You should be able to make some calculated projections and actually look to outsource, because when things settle down, you can then go, I'll either continue to outsource, or actually I can recruit somebody because we have grown. So, outsource is a key area. It's been around there for years and years and years, but many functions now can be outsourced. So for me, outsource is an ideal time now to outsource. And there are lots of great companies out in the UK that you can outsource to. You can talk to me and obviously take you through that as well. But definitely look for outsource. The only downside I would say of outsource is you have to be able to function and work with that outsourced company. So not every outsourced company is for you, but you also have to be able to give something back. And you need to be really realistic in terms of your expectations. But for me, we are an outsourcer. We outsource one or two of our own functions anyway, as lots of companies do. So definitely outsource. And again, Gail, we spoke some weeks ago about how cost effective it is to outsource your recruitment. And I think that's a real key thing for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely agree. And it takes the headache out of the business, so you've got more time to be working on your business and keep you in the loop as well. So totally agree. Great advice.
Yeah, absolutely. And our business owners in the last few weeks, they've said that to us. And I think sort of to wrap up today's and look forward to the guests that we've got coming in the next few weeks is, we are already seeing those signs. We're seeing business owners saying, there's no substitute for hard work. And I think now is definitely an example of that. You can start your business at any age. Again, you've got to be able to adapt. And I think, Gail, you've been touching on that in particular, is you've got to be able to adapt. You've got to get the work-life balance as well in terms of that adaptation of how that works. And I think it's most of all, the one thing we've heard from every business owner, and I think both you and I are exactly the same, you've got to have a passion for what you do, or you've got to be able to do something you absolutely enjoy. And if you're a business owner and you're not enjoying it, maybe sit down and wonder why you're not enjoying it. It may be that you've lost the passion, but you might be wrapped up in other things. So look to outsource some of those things. That might be a really good way forward as well.
Yeah. Totally agree. And any challenge that comes available, I always think, I always have this little voice in my head says, okay, plot twist, for COVID, for example, and then, like I say, you have to work a way through it, and outsourcing is a good way to overcome some difficult challenges, and even if it's just a short term, to get you back on your feet. So absolutely good advice.
Well, Gail, it's been a great program, this one. It's been really nice to reflect on those great business owners we've had in the past few weeks. I'm really looking forward to the ones we've got ahead as well. So if you're a business owner watching this and you've got a story to tell, again, get in touch. We've had loads of you get in touch and you want to tell your story, but also tell the story, and so we can give something back to our great viewers and listeners each week as well. So from me, have a great week and look forward to you joining us again next week.
I look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a great one. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye now.